welcome to the Nick Smith Show. Today, my special guest Vasu is here. Vasu is the founder and designer of our Ken Wroy, the men underwear line. Today, she's here to offer us a few advice on maybe your underwear. Tell us a little bit more about Ken Wroy. Okay? Hey Vasu, welcome to the Nick Smith Show.
Thanks for having me.
Great. So, how did you get into designing men's underwear? How did it all started?
I mean, I would have never thought I would make a career out of that. I did do women's wear, and it was not something I related to that much. And I just found that men didn't have much options when it came to underwear because I was just bored with my husband's underwear. And I was trying to shop for him, and while he was open to prints and colors, there was nothing much that was both sexy and comfortable. So I thought that men need more help in that department.
Which comes down to Ken Wroy's saying, underwear is the first thing you put on, the last thing you take off, I think.
Yes,
correct?
give it the attention it deserves.
Yes. Did you go to school for design?
Yeah, I studied at the Fashion Institute of Technology, New York, and I also took classes in menswear to kind of appreciate attention to detail and tailoring concepts. It's not like for women's wear where you can put a corsage and kind of fix things up and you mix it up.
Yeah.
In menswear and not only underwear but generally the detail is so much important.
Right.
It will show if it's not made well. And underwear all the more.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's funny because we were talking about underwear and sex appeal, but that's another topic.
Okay,
So-
that you need another couple of episodes for that.
Yeah. So, as an entrepreneur and underwear, what are some of the challenges you face, as a designer in this industry?
As a designer, you mean how men reacted to it,
Yeah,
having a
exactly.
woman doing it?
Yeah, woman designer of underwear. Yeah.
Honestly, I think they've taken it really well.
Yeah.
I think men like some validation from women, even though it is their choice finally to wear something and feel comfortable and make it their style. But some people did question, it's not a product you wear, so
Yeah,
how
it
can you get it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But my answer to that is we do study male anatomy and women's anatomy, or human anatomy. So I can in terms of technicality, I can figure out what would make sense. And of course, my husband is my guinea pig. He's my fit model. I hope he never sues me. I actually pin on him to kind of understand how things work
Right,
because
okay.
movement is very important. It's not a static product like maybe a bag. I don't know, watch or something. It's moving with you.
Yeah.
So I think
It's
sometimes having
comfort.
comfortable.
That's for
and
me. I know underwear for me is a comfort thing.
yeah.
I want to be riding up. I mean, it sounds very silly for a man to say the underwear rides up, but
But it's a common problem.
it's a common problem now.
And also,
Yeah.
I think sometimes since I have a distance from it, I'm able to view it in some kind of light or a few perspectives in that maybe a guy wouldn't think of, and I'm able to add some style to it as well.
Nice.
So
You went to school at FIT for design, and from I transition from female designing to female clothing to men's underwear. As an entrepreneur, has it been any struggles to with the business to in the industry? Has there been any struggle that you would like to point out when it comes to designing and starting your own business in general?
tons and tons, but I'm gonna try to stick to two of them. There are tons of struggles, but it's first of all kind of when you start your business. This is my experience, right? Because I'm definitely not one of those people who comes from a business-oriented family, and somewhat it's in your head that that's an option, that's the way to go. I didn't have this orientation, so this was really my decision. And when you take that kind of decision, you wake up one day like, okay, so what does an entrepreneur do? How does he behave, or how does she behave, and what does it mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm used to going to an office and working. I used to be a journalist before, so you know sort of what task to take on. So you know what are the steps that stands between you and success, or you or what it means to do a job well. Here the question is I'm defining my own job.
Yeah.
That's even tougher, I think, in some sense, because I have to set my standards. And specifically for the design industry, it is a very one of the toughest businesses, and there's not much logic that works here as opposed to a Silicon Valley business where it's more about, and you get funding, they work very differently. In design, it's so much more about emotions, and you figure out, it takes 20 years to figure out why somebody likes a brand and why that brand became a brand.
Yeah.
So it's not like an overnight type of business.
Definitely a trial and success kind of thing.
Yeah, what resonates with the market. So there's so much more understanding, and of course in New York every other person is in design and some aspect of it. So while that's great environment, it also puts the competition
A lot
very
high,
high.
right?
Yeah.
Yes, I can imagine. So, what advice would you offer to the younger generation, or designers in general that's coming out of graduating from school and want to start their own business? What advice would you offer them?
The first thing I'd say is, of course, the ideating, because finally everything starts with an idea. I would say brainstorm, make that topic of conversation while you're in school, which is what I think a lot of business school graduates do. When they typically come out, they've already found a partner in their school. But in design schools, we never do that. We're always talking about luxury brands and Chanel and designers in Europe, which is inspiring, but it's kind of very far from our reality.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to brainstorm with people and see when you graduate from school if you can find a partner, which I never found, but something to start, and that will start helping you think of from product to realization. So to designing to how the marketability of it is very important.
Yeah.
The other thing I'll definitely say is have tons of ideas, but keep waking up and seeing if the idea is still exciting. Most often the idea you have on Monday is not exciting on Wednesday. So have that sort of going, so you're able to stick with one idea. That's, I think, is important. And I think the third thing I would say is really to sort of open up in terms of product design itself, not only get emotionally involved with. I used to be like that. I was very emotionally involved about underwear. I got to make underwear, but now I'm trying to think of more as
Fun
a brand.
ways.
Yeah, and underwear is one medium of communication, but I could be doing other things, but the brand story would be the same.
Same.
So
Underwear, men's underwear. Okay, let's take a look at a few of your designs you have. We have this underwear. The New York skyline looks like to me. What inspired this design?
Honestly, I was just sketching. I mean, I've been in New York for 5 years, and of course, the skyline is something everybody talks about. And I go to the other side of Hudson pretty often to New Jersey and things. So I am looking at the skyline often, and I just sat down to sketch that and thought it gave so much more power to see it in a way as a reflection on the blue underwear. So you see that, and it's very sleek, placed very strategically.
Yeah.
So it's it's almost it's kind of that power that it's like nostalgia. It could be travel, but it could also feel like identity that you are from here.
From New York, it gives it that kind of origin kind of.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a New Yorker, you feel proud to wear New York Ken Wroy underwear.
Exactly.
And Ken Wroy is a New York brand.
Yeah.
I mean, an Orient.
And the other point has been that we have a lot of tourists buying it. Then it struck me that how many I Love New York T-shirts and souvenir can you buy? This is like the best piece of if you want to grab a piece of the Big Apple, this is probably the coolest.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Way to go. This nice models you choose. Did you handpick these models yourself?
Yeah, casting is part of my job. Very tough.
I'm sure. Good job.
Yeah.
This is a boxer brief, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, actually that's one of our low rise.
Low rise. Oh yeah, low rise.
Low rise trunks.
And that's the
Briefs.
This is a giraffe.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So
I love the colors and the way it's done. It's very detailed.
Thank you. So as a designer, I love this concept of creating an illusion, which you can see here, which the giraffes are mirrored. And we have a lot of designs that I work with. I was very inspired by Alexander McQueen to understand the illusion that you create with just simple reflections and mirroring of patterns. So it kind of gives an idea, like the giraffes are mirrored. It kind of makes your butt look a little more rounded, I want to say. And it creates that kind of a lot of fun, and it's also like a topic, a conversation starter.
Okay. Take a look at this one here. This is a what is this kind of? What is this represent?
So this is what does it look like to you? What do you see in it?
I like the colors, like the waist. I don't know. It's very interesting.
So the idea was born. I wanted to do a camouflage because it's super hot.
That's exactly.
It's super hot right now, and men always like, and especially it's in trend this year. But I wanted to make it a little more intelligent and not just kind of slap on a camouflage that we see everywhere. So the theme was Brazil for the World Cup.
Okay.
So I was inspired by the favelas of Rio.
Oh, okay.
So if you see closely, see the slums of Rio, the buildings.
Yeah.
But I took the camouflage pattern and then kind of converted that into the buildings of Brazil. The idea is either you get the camouflage or you get the favelas if you've been to Brazil or you know about it. So either way, you're happy.
Yeah, it is a camouflage, but it's done with I like the gold color into it. It's
Yeah.
really nice, yeah. It's also from Brazil, inspired, I'm assuming.
Yes, you wear it on a Sunday. But yeah, it's inspired by Brazil, and it's one of the most iconic statues of the world, and it's very powerful. And I love the idea of kind of creating a watercolor effect of the sun setting on the Jesus. So it's kind of simple and
simple, but still it's kind of I feel like it give you this feeling of tranquility.
Yeah.
In a sense. That's what I think. I think this is one of my favorite ones, to be honest with you. I like this design a lot for whatever reasons. I just do.
So this pattern is inspired by by Copacabana. It's also Ipanema, and all these beaches have these walks which have these very relatable art from Brazil, which is the mosaic art. Relatable, I mean, it's the art form known in Brazil, so the mosaic.
Okay.
But I also want to create that feeling of waves.
Oh, okay.
On the underwear, so it's kind of like swimwear almost.
Yeah, definitely feel a little bitchy too.
Yeah.
I mean, bitchy, not bitchy. And this is it. This is Freedom Museum you're around.
Yeah, these are actually capoeira artists we shot with from Brazil.
Oh, yeah.
So they're capoeirista. So they were happy to the collection was perfect for them. Yeah.
Perfect. So those are some of the things you can expect from Ken Wroy, the brand online. Where can we find Ken Wroy brand?
So you can buy it from us directly at kenwroy.com.
And can we follow you on social media? Everyone is on social media, so I'm assuming you're on social media as well.
Oh, of course. So I think Instagram is great for us. It's Ken Wroy USA. So find us there and you'll be able to see all our lovely underwear and sexy ones.
Sexy ones. Okay. We actually have this new segment called If I Could, I Would. And so this So if this is there anything like, it could be personal or business, it's up to you, that you have been doing in your life which you wish you could change, and you could change, you would change if you could change it, what would that be?
So the one thing would definitely be my approach to starting my business. Of course, it's easier to tell when you've gained some knowledge. You knew back then what you know now.
Yeah.
But I think I approached it so much from the product design point of view, which was organic and natural, since I am primarily a designer. But now I think it's so much about brand and the story, the company. I wish I could have approached it a little more from the brand point of view, thinking a more long-term vision than of just a product. So that's what I would have loved to have done differently. But again, I know that if I didn't do the product, if I didn't have the kick-ass idea, then how could I think of the branding? So, but yeah,
it's a give and take.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, business in general is a very tricky thing in approaching it. So it's mostly trial and errors to get to where you really want to be eventually. Yeah. Well, I wish you much success with Ken Wroy.
Thank you.
Lovely brand. And please, you can find us. You can find kenwroy.com on Facebook or Instagram. Ken Wroy USA. Thank you very much for coming. I appreciate it. Love the underwears, and definitely, actually, these underwear can make a great gift for our holiday season, which is pretty close. So definitely check us out for holiday. Do you have any holiday collection coming out, or
we have some Christmas colors.
Christmas colors.
Okay,
perfect. So underwear's a good present. Maybe he needs to clean out his, change up his underwear and his drawers. So thank you very much again for coming. Appreciate
Thank you so much for having me, and please pay attention to your underwear.
Yeah,
It's important.
It is important.